podcaster, extraordinaire, comedian, former UFC fighter, friend of the program. The one and only Brendan Schaub is here. Hi, Brendan.
What's up, brother?
Look at that crisp HD. I get to see your face way too close.
Yeah, what up, dog? It's like a FaceTime.
All right, so you got to go to where? Calgary this past weekend? Where'd you go?
Yeah, I was in Calgary doing shows.
How was it? How's Calgary?
I like Calgary, man. I don't know. It's like, I don't know why, but it's one of my best markets. Canada's good to me, man. I love Canada.
Canada is a underrated country. It's amazing to me how many Americans have never been to Canada.
I agree. It's like the States, but way cleaner, and everyone's nicer, and they have great food. And for whatever reason, maybe it's just the spots I go to, like Vancouver, Calgary, Edmonton, Montreal, Toronto, but they have the best looking women in the world as well.
I've heard. I've only been to Montreal and Toronto. I've not been to the other one, so I'm kind of dying to go. All right. Well, by the way, their customs though took forever. How long did it take you to get through customs?
You know what? Not too bad. Because you don't have to fill out the paper anymore. Everything's automatic. It's pretty dumb.
Bro, I went for the
and you can get Nexus, bro. You get Nexus. We just skip everything.
Yeah, my wife has that. The thing about it is I saw GSP fight Shields, and I had to go to Toronto. Oh my God, dude. It was it took 2 hours to get through customs. I wanted to kill somebody. I'm glad to hear it's since improved. All right, let's talk about BKFC. Your boy over there at Showtime, Paulie Malignaggi. What'd you think?
So I was watching it in between shows. So I had a 7:30 show and then a 10:30. So I watched it in between. So I was a little distracted. So I haven't got to watch it again. But I thought it could have went either way. I thought Paulie, I kind of edged Paulie out with 3 rounds. I thought he did enough to win 3 rounds. Wasn't the excitement and the fireworks I was hoping for. I thought Paulie fought very kind of timid. He fought very boxer-ish, especially only having 5 rounds. He started off at like a 12-round pace. I thought it was very slow, methodical, kind of outclassed him, outpointed him, just throwing jabs. I thought, all right, if this is what he wants to do, that's great. And then Artem was very hesitant. You could see he couldn't get Paulie's timing down. He's kind of whiffing. I don't know. I thought it was a weird exchange. I thought the whole thing was kind of awkward. I can see how you gave it to Artem. I wasn't mad at the decision. I actually like as much fun as I like to make fun of bare knuckle. I thought the pacing was good. I don't know what the broadcast was like because I didn't have volume, but I thought the pacing in the show was good. I thought the overall product was not terrible.
All right, so this is what I thought when I saw it. The rounds you want to give to Paulie are what? First, second, and third?
Yes, correct. 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, so the first 2 he clearly won. The first 2 he clearly lost. The third, I thought he was winning up until that one late punch, and maybe that stole the round. It's really kind of hard to know. But, like, in terms of, like, was this a good thing for Paulie? He got super paid. I heard he got...
Did he? What's super paid? What's super paid, Luke?
I heard he got 7 figures for that fight.
You heard that too? All right. Well, then he got super paid. Listen, if he got paid 7 figures, hats off to him. He deserves it. For the longest, and to be honest, him and I were supposed to do a food truck diary together when I was in New York. But because I've been so critical of him, I think, we decided not to do it because I've been very outspoken on why is he doing this? He's the best analyst in the game. He's punching down. Why is he doing this? And then one morning I woke up, I'm like, what do I care? If Paulie wants to do this, he can still be one of the best analysts in the game, but this is just kind of a side hustle for him. If he's making 7 figures, we're all talking about it. Listen, Lovato fought this weekend, Mousasi, Korean Zombie. There were some phenomenal fights. No one was talking about those other fights. Everyone was looking forward to Paulie versus Artem. So, at the end of the day, if that's what makes Paulie happy, I'm all about it. I don't know. I don't know how I feel about it. I don't know why I cared so much going into it, meaning I thought it was a bad look for Paulie, but, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I was wrong. He got paid. We're all talking about it. He didn't get knocked out. If he would have went in there and got knocked out, then it would have been an awful career move for him. But We're all talking about it. He's all right.
Yeah, in the end, when I watched the fight, I was kind of anticlimactic to a degree. Artem did what he was supposed to do, I think, for the most part. And if Paulie got paid what I heard he got paid, and that's the way the fight turned out, I guess I'm ready. I guess it wasn't that big a deal in the end. It's sort of the way I look at it.
I would have liked a clear-cut winner, meaning I would have liked Paulie to outclass him. My prediction was, and I text my friends, I don't know if I announced this on the show, but my prediction was I thought Paulie was going to piece him up early on and then struggle with his hands. I thought he would break his hands, and then Artem would win via decision. That's why I texted Rogan. I tried texting to you, but my service was bad, so I'll screenshot that for you. That's why I text most people that I thought Artem would win via decision due to Paulie whooping his ass so bad, breaking his hand.
Yeah. The other part that people don't realize, too, is Paulie has a good chin. I knew Artem was unlikely to knock him out. I knew it was going to go the distance. I just didn't know what was going to happen in the interim. Very quickly, if we can, let's talk about this. Lovato Jr. beating Mousasi. What do you make of it?
I think Mousasi's one of the best, and I was really surprised that Lovato beat him. But, Lovato's undefeated, big dude. It's impressive, man. His story is great. His story is phenomenal. One of the greatest, if not the greatest, American Jiu-Jitsu kind of competition Jiu-Jitsu practitioner of all time. So, he's just doing his thing, man. I think it's good for Bellator. I really do.
Where would you beating Mousasi puts you where in the rankings? That's tough, right?
Top 5, but yeah, I wouldn't say he's the best in the world. Top 5. I'd like to see a rematch.
Yeah, you think you're going to do one?
Yes, I do. Yeah. I bet they do.
They probably do because Mousasi's obviously a really important signing for them. You know what's funny? I was going back and prep for this interview, Brendan, and I was looking at a video that you did with who's the blonde from? I forget. I'm sorry to refer her to that way. I don't know her name. She is from FS1. She was originally Colin Coward's co-host.
Oh, Christina Leahy.
Christina Leahy. You did an interview with her, and in that interview, you called. This is before the fight. You called Anthony Joshua most overrated. People got real bitter, and then he lost. I wonder if people have since apologized.
Oh, no, that's so silly. Yeah, people. Whenever I say anything about Anthony Joshua, especially the people over the pond here, freak out. My whole thing, I was calling him overrated, is because I want him and Wilder to fight. So I thought by doing that, it would get to him or his handler Eddie Hearn, and it just keeps Wilder versus freaking Joshua in the news because I want them to fight. And I know they were close to making a deal. So that's why I was doing that. I was trying to poke the bear there. And then it pokes the fans, though.
Yeah, but nevertheless, I don't think he's overrated depending on what one means by that. But he did lose ultimately. And I've heard even some analysts, I think maybe in Teddy Atlas, I don't know. I don't want to say that exactly, saying they're not sure to what extent he can come back from this. I wonder, was it strictly trolling or was there any merit to that position?
I don't think. Listen, it's a kind of a 3-horseman race, right? So you got Wilder, you got Fury, you got Anthony Joshua, and I think it's all about matchups. I think Fury beats all of them. I think he's the number 1 heavyweight in the world, and then I think between Joshua and Wilder, it's a toss-up, man. So I don't think he's overrated, but I think out of the 3, he definitely doesn't deserve the most merit out of the 3. So he's kind of the poster child, especially for DAZN and for Europe, but in America, not so much. I think Fury's kind of taking that title,
especially after his performance. What was it, a week or so ago? All right, Korean Zombie just absolutely melts Hanato Moicano. I was trying to tell folks years ago, back when you were a UFC fighter, long time ago, Korean Zombie was sort of the original Justin Gaethje. That's not quite right, but it's something like that. And here he gets out and reminds everybody of what time it is. What is still the upside? How far can Korean Zombie go?
Man, I like where he's at. I think, when he kind of went away to serve his country, I thought it did him, a lot of benefits. I think he's healthy, not as much brain trauma, maybe a little relax on the damage there. He still has the greatest walkout shirt of all time, if you remember. We were all wearing it, man. Even Dana White was rocking that shirt. We all rocked that Korean Zombie shirt. I forget who made it. The Tri-Costa or something like that. They're definitely not around anymore. Yeah. Great shirt, though.
Something like that. But go ahead.
I literally, I would love to see him get a title shot. I really would. I think he has a great story. He's marketable. He actually changed his name to Zombie, so I'm a fan.
And Moicano, age 30, goes up against Brian Ortega. That's Brian Ortega, right? He's very good. He was beating him for most of that fight, but then loses. Goes up and fights Aldo. Maybe you could say the fight was stopped a little bit early, but still was getting pieced up a little bit. And then in this one, there's just nothing to say about it. It's as clean as day. I was asking Dan Hardy about it. Like, when do you make a call about what someone's upside is? And his answer is, you can't until it's all over. Okay, fair enough. I certainly don't know the answer. I wonder, though, what you make of what we talked about Korean Zombie's upside. But what about Moicano now?
It's tough to tell a guy his upside, right? Because we've had guys, especially in the UFC, who it looks like game over, then they go on these crazy runs. So I really think it's up to the fighter to decide. If it's something internal where he doesn't want to be there, he's 1 foot in, 1 foot out. If it's a matter of him just getting older, but I think with both these guys, I don't see that. So I don't think it's tough for the media to say, I think his ceiling's here. We kind of don't know, especially in the lighter weight classes. We really don't know.
Why the lighter weight classes?
Because I feel like they have such a ceiling to advance, to grow. I just feel like their skill sets, they come in with such a high skill set. It's just more of a mental kind of click to get them to that title shot. Whereas heavyweight, they're older. They're not going to pick up a lot of the skills. They are who they are. A lot of times with the lighter weight class guys, everyone's talented. 1 through 15. 15 can beat 1. 13 can beat 2. I think it's more of a mental thing because they're so damn skilled at the lighter weight classes.
Was there ever a moment in your career, not when you were like, I don't know if I want to do this anymore, but when you thought like, I'm not getting any better, where you thought like, I think I'm stuck here? Did that ever happen?
No, not for me, because I started so late in the game and I got kind of catapulted to fighting these monsters. So I knew my ceiling was high, but what the marker against me was experience. So there's things I knew I did really well. And even though I was fighting veterans like Ben Rothwell and Nogueira or Crow Cop or, Gonzaga, I knew my athletic ability would get me far, but I knew it could only get me so far because it just takes time to learn the skills that these guys developed over years. So I thought my ceiling was really high if I stuck with it, but I was aware that experience was the kind of the common theme there with these bouts I had.
You ever had some fighter confess that to you in the gym, being like, dude, I'm just stuck here. I can't get better. I've been trying for years. I've plateaued.
No, not really. Not really. I think not really. No, because all the guys I kind of trained with, they were monsters, from Bisbee to Mark Munoz, Lyoto Machida. Like they were their skill set was so high. I don't think they needed to get better. They just needed to train smarter and rest their bodies.
Who is like
I was always the young buck in the gym. Most gyms, I was always the least experienced. I was never kind of a leader in the gym. I was always the young buck.
Interesting. Okay, let's transition if we can then. Oh, no, one more about this. Of all the people you trained with, I don't mean like who was the craziest, but who was like the most intense at all times? Not wild, but like just kind of dialed in constantly. I'm talking about like that wrestling coach.
Oh, Bisbee, for sure.
Why?
Bisbee, because even in the drilling, the pace was so high. He was nonstop. It was like he was safe about it. But even when we were just doing light kind of drilling to get ready for wrestling or whatever it was, his pace was so high and he'd get a workout from everything. I could see why his cardio was so good. And he was all business. Like I might joke around here and there, or if Chael was there, or if Munoz or Machida, like I'd joke around. But with Bisbee, it was all business. He was there, he was clocked in, and that's why he became a world champion.
All right, so let's transition if we can. Coming up here, not too far away, UFC 239. Jon Jones taking on Thiago Santos. I asked Dan Hardy this. I'll ask you something similar. Under what conditions could it happen that Thiago Santos wins?
A sniper shoots Jon Jones in the ankle walking into the octagon. I know people are trying to hype this up and sell pay-per-views. There's not a light heavyweight alive who's going to beat Jon Jones. They're not even close. He should probably be a minus 3,000 favorite for every fight he has in the light heavyweight division. I'd be interested to see if Luke Rockhold gets healthy and how he looks at light heavyweight. So maybe there's something there because he's a bigger, stronger dude. He's good in every aspect. So I have hope for Luke Rockhold against John Jones, but outside that, there's nothing there. He's just stacking up bodies. He's the greatest light heavyweight of all time. I'd love to see him at heavyweight, but as far as light heavyweight, it's gonna be a tough sell, man. UFC's they're just gonna have to take the Mike Tyson approach. Just, hey, watch John beat this guy up.
So are you not interested in a third fight with Cormier, or you would like to see it, you just don't think it'll happen?
I think it happens because I think the UFC is going to throw the book at DC, which they should, and I would like to see it at heavyweight. At light heavyweight, listen, I've seen it twice, man. I know John was on stuff, whatever. We've seen how that pans out. But at heavyweight, that huge gap that there is between DC and John, it comes down a little. DC, he can knock dudes out at heavyweight, and he landed some good shots on John in those matches. So I like DC's chances at heavyweight better. Does he beat him? I don't know. But at least there's that unknown factor. At light heavyweight, all right, I'm good, man. I've seen it twice. I don't care for it. But at heavyweight, John Jones, DC, trilogy, heavyweight world title, what are we doing? That's easy, man. That's an easy sell.
All right, Jorge Masvidal taking on Ben Askren. Here's the question. If Ben wins, do you think he will be able to effectively lobby on his behalf for a title shot?
Yes, easily. Ben's biggest problem is going to be figuring out Jorge Masvidal, not if he wins, if he's going to get a title shot, because he's so good at talking his way into these big fights. He's going to take care of that. And, it's on record. I'm a big Ben Askren fan. I love Ben. So I think he has his hands full with Jorge. That his first UFC fight against Robbie Lawler was, if you're a Ben Askren fan, was a scary one. So, I'm interested to see how it goes because Jorge Masvidal is an absolute nightmare. But no matter what, if Ben were to win, I would imagine he gets his way in for the title shot.
Now, ahead of Colby or in the queue behind him?
I don't know, man.
It's dicey, right?
Colby, is it? I don't know. You look at the history of the UFC and the decisions they make. Colby is kind of, no one's really talking about him, is he? So obviously he's going to try to come up with something to get in the news here. I'd probably show up to the press conference, something like that, or he's going to do something. But no, we're not really talking about him. When's the last time you broke down something Colby Covington did? When's the last time? You know what I'm saying? Like, out of sight, out of mind, especially with the UFC. They do not care, man.
Interesting. Yeah, I talked to him about Fleet Week, but point taken. You're talking about like with the MMA stuff. All right, Amanda Nunes, Holly Holm. What chance do you give Holm here? Oh, I look at that face. She has more of a chance than that.
Oh no, no. I was raising my eyebrows. I like Holly Holm's chance. I think she has a great chance. And I always, when I'm talking about if you want to make money on fights, I don't know what the odds are on Holly there, but I like her chances a whole lot. I think Amanda Nunes is the greatest female fighter of all time, but Holly Holmes, she matches up well with her. I really like Holly Holmes' chance there.
What would you like for Amanda if she's only got 2 fights left? This one and the Cyborg rematch or something else? Back down to fight Valentina at some point? Because Amanda has talked about, I don't know if I'm going to stick around. We'll see how this goes. Either one of those is interesting to me, but I got to tell you, the one that's a little bit more interesting for me is the Valentina one. Now, Valentina clearly lost the first fight. I thought she won the second fight. You could do a champ thing in the middle, right?
Yeah, I like the champ thing. Yeah, if she's only going to do 2, I like the Valentina thing because she's so hot right now, after that freaking walk-off home run to the head kick. But, yeah, I do. I think Valentina did beat her. I agree with you there. The champ thing, I'm all about that. And then if she does, whatever happens there, if she does lose, and, you got all your money on Valentina as being the next huge star for female. So, yeah, I dig that. I wouldn't mind the Cyborg rematch, but no one's really calling for it, are they? I don't at all.
Yeah, not a whole lot.
You're the first person I've heard talk about it. No.
All right. So what's next for you, my friend? You are on the road like it is a contest. What do you got going on?
just on tour, man. Standard road dog comedy stuff, man. I'm here now at the freaking. I'm trying to get my Rob Dyrdek freaking Enterprise on, man. So I'm in Below the Belt Studios now. They're building out Finding the Kids studios next door, and I do King This Thing in the other door. So I'm gonna have the whole kind of squad here under one roof. So working on that, man. Yeah, I'm on tour. I'm in Brea this weekend, and then I go to Indy and Cincinnati.
What's your
just on
favorite
tour, man?
favorite city not named Washington, D.C. to do comedy in is what?
DC Improv's great, man. Honestly, it'd be hard to pick a favorite. I'm really, I'm in love with Cleveland, man. I did a venue there called Hilarities. Cleveland was great. I love Portland. They're all pretty good, man. There's never been, the only kind of dicey one I ever had was St. Louis. I probably won't go back there. It just wasn't ran very well, but all of them are great.
St. Louis, that is an interesting place. I saw Kimbo fight Ken Shamrock there. I was staying downtown. Everything was closed. I'm like, how is everything downtown closed? I don't know. Ask St. Louis.
Yeah, St. Louis gets a little dicey. However, best barbecue and best pizza I've ever had in my life. They have a pizza there. It's kind of a deep dish. The pizza's so good, when Obama was the president, they would fly this guy into the White House to make pizza for him. And Obama's from Chicago. Think about it. That's how good the pizza was.
All right.
That was the only good thing in St. Louis, though.
Here I am pissed. Everyone's like, you can go tour the Anheuser-Busch thing. I'm like, I'd rather die. So I'll skip that. Thanks.
Yeah, good.
All right, Brendan, you were on the first show I did here. You're on the 1 year anniversary. Thank you, my friend. Best of luck to everything you're doing. We'll catch up soon.
Thank you, man. Appreciate you. As always. Take care, brother.